what have I done since the last time that I saw you? I had a migraine on Wednesday. And then Thursday. So this air conditioning unit up here on the wall is like, it's a wall unit. I don't know if I can show you. It's like a tube, right? And there's like a vent. Sussy baka. There's like a vent. And then there's like filters inside of it. I looked on the inside of it because my room started to smell weird sometimes. And there's no explanation for it because I don't do anything gross. You know? I do my laundry often enough. My floors are clean. I spray things with Febreze. I spray my bed with Febreze. I do not fart ever, and I never have, and I never will. It smells like weird, like earthy and gross. It smells like really old dirt or something. And so I was like, what the fuck? So I would smell everything. I would like smell my bed and I'd be like, is my bed gross? And I would smell my clothes. Are my clothes gross? It smells like mold, it does. So I have another wall AC unit in the living room, and both of them, I've taken the filters out of them and I've taken the dust off of it and I've washed it like in the bathtub and everything. So I looked in this air conditioning unit, and past the like, in the very back side of it is black and spotted with black mold. And it's like, basically the entire thing is black mold. And like, I can see it with my eyes and with the flashlight. And so I, last week, put in a request, because I looked into the other air conditioning unit, and that one's white. Like, there's no mold in it, and it's clean. And I think what it is this room, I've had a dehumidifier that I run. Yeah, so lick it and I'll donate 100 gift subs. I'm definitely okay, my guy. So, last week I put in a maintenance request that was like, can you please come out and clean the air conditioning because it's got mold inside? And they didn't get back to me, and I thought I could take it apart myself, so I tried, and I can't. And so I put in the request, no one showed up. I tried to call twice this week and no one answered. I put in another request like the day before yesterday or something, and the guy showed up and he was like, oh, I'll come back tomorrow, which was yesterday, and I'll come take a look and clean it. And I was like, okay. So yesterday I waited like all day because of course there's no like set time, and they're working on another apartment in here and like cleaning it up, I guess. And it's like this old man, and he's like really short, and he brings a ladder with him so he can see. And he's very nice. I think he's Spanish. And he's like, let me see what you're talking about. So I moved my bed out of the way. I took the princess net down. This was out of the way for like ever. It was on the other side of the room. So I moved everything away. I covered my keyboards with plastic. I covered the bed with a tarp. So he came in here, he put his ladder down, and he climbed up on it, and he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, there's mold in there. And he goes, I don't see any. And I go, it's in the back. It's like behind the filters, kind of. And he goes, okay. So I'm out in the living room on the couch, and I'm just watching movies and stuff because I'm obviously anxious. There's a person in my house and I'm having to speak to someone. And he calls me back in here, and he's like, there's He goes, that's not mold. And I go, it's not? And he goes, no, that's paper back there. And I'm like, what? He goes, that's paper. It's paper in there. And I was like, no. I go, but the other one doesn't look like that. He goes, oh, that's paper. So I was like, do you mind if I look real quick? And he's like, no, go ahead. So I got up on the ladder and I took a paper towel and I like pushed the paper towel in and like rubbed it along the bottom, and it was like black with dust. And I was like, this is dirty. And he was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. He struggled to take apart the air conditioning unit. He got like a piece of it off. He didn't even know how to take the vents off. I had to show him how to do that because I just cleaned and dusted it off. And I had to show him how to take the vents off. Those are the easiest piece to get off. And then he like took off the front part of it, but then there's like all of these like rotating things in there. Obviously it's a fan. And he didn't take those off. And he goes, I'll clean it. And I go, okay. And he goes, I'm gonna try to clean it from the other side. So he went outside and I was like, do you mind if I look too? Because I'm like, I want to know what's going on so that I can be like, listen, I fucking tried. So I went out with him. The sun's fucking so blazing outside. My pupils that are always 1,000 fucking... My pupils are always so mega huge. And I go outside. They're probably even smaller than they normally are because this light's on. So I go outside with him. I can barely see. And there's like a small tube outside like this. And he's pushing a paper towel in and out of it. And he goes, I'll clean it from this side. But the whole AC unit is this big. And it's like this. And that's not cleaning it. So I was like, okay. So I came back inside. And I was like, am I being gaslit or am I wrong? So I get up on the ladder and I'm like looking in there, trying to take a picture and stuff. And he didn't clean it. And then he came back in and he's like, look, I've got the magic brush. He was a very nice old man. And he's like, it's really nice to come in here and you're smiley and happy because most of the time I go into someone's house and they're like an asshole or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm smiling and nodding because I'm like, I want to get this person out of my house so that I can actually get someone here that knows what they're talking about. So he takes the other vent off of it that are like the filters that you can clean that I've already cleaned. Thank you so much, Gosler. And he takes those off and he's like, I'm gonna clean these. And I go, okay, I just cleaned them. So he takes them outside with his magic brush and he's like, come back out here and look. And he's using a nickname for me this whole time. My name is Emily, and he's like, Emma, come look. Emma, come look. And I'm like, okay, Peepa, I'm coming to look. He's like, Emma, come look at my magic brush. And I'm like, okay. And so he's like brushing the filters with this paintbrush. My Peepaw. I was like, oh my god, I've adopted a grandpa on accident. So he's like brushing it. He's like, look at all the dust coming off. I'm like, yep, there's dust coming off. He goes, see, you said you just cleaned this. I said, I did. I washed it in the tub. He's like, well, look at the dust. And then he held his hand up. There was dust on it. I was like, okay, but this isn't the mold. And so then I'm just waiting for him to finish what he's doing so that I can just like do something else, you know? Because this is obviously not going to go in the direction that I want it to go. He's not going to help me. So now what I have to do is I'm going to need to call an air conditioning cleaning service, which I did yesterday, and I left them a voicemail and they didn't get back to me. And because I can't like, I can't take apart the air conditioning. I can't do it. And I don't want to deal with cleaning the black mold for myself.